When hinges creak in doorless chambers and strange adversing sounds echo through the halls, whenever candlelights flicker, when the air is deathly still, that is the time those are present, practicing their ghoulish delight. When cryptos creak and tombstones quake, spoons come out for a swinging wake, happy haunts materialize and begin to vocalize. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize. Close your eyes and don't try to hide. Shrouded in a dark disguise. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize. When cryptos creak and tombstones quake, spoons come out for a swinging wake, happy haunts materialize and begin to vocalize. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize.
What is up? How the hell are you?
What's up, Facebook user?
So there we
That's how it's
had
popping up as.
some technical BS once again with Facebook. So we are streaming for Horror Sake's channel, to my channel, and then to our new Facebook group. But if you are commenting in the Facebook group, we will not be able to see your name. I don't know why that is. I'm trying to figure it out, but it will only come across as Facebook user, and we can't type back to you. We can only speak to you. So
Yeah.
Please tell us who you are. We appreciate you being here. And I'm sorry that it's saying Facebook user and not the awesome person that you are.
Yeah. Put like Phil and then dash and then what you got to say and then at the end nuts. I mean, it's if you want to.
So what I am doing
So,
now is
Josh.
getting the link out there for everybody. So no matter what, you can find us. Chuck, why don't you tell the kids what we're here to talk about?
Today, on this wonderful Sunday night, on this St. Patrick's Day, I'm
Whoop, whoop.
rocking me a leprechaun t-shirt from Zobi. We are going to be talking about the 1981 classic werewolf movie, which a few werewolf movies came out in 1981. But we are talking about An American Werewolf in London.
Hooray! 1981. So I just want to highlight that 1981. Like this movie came out all those years ago. Like that's like how many years now?
It's like
Almost 40
40
years.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's like 40 and some change, I do believe.
It's got to be. It is a great movie. It holds up. The special effects are awesome. Like they did a great job for the times for this movie.
43 years.
43.
Yeah. You know, like, I mean, so John Landis has been wanting to do this movie for a while. And
To
he just
redo it, you mean?
couldn't- No, he wanted to do it.
I got
Like,
you.
it
Okay,
wasn't. It wasn't an idea of 1981 that he was like, "Yeah, let's do it now." He had this idea. I forget which movie he was working on, but Rick Baker was also working on that movie, and he talked to Rick Baker about it. And Rick Baker was all about it. He's like, "Yeah, let's fucking do this." Well, he took so long to put it into production and anything like that. Rick Baker decided to go make another movie, and that movie was The Howling. So he took a lot of his ideas from what he was planning to do for American Werewolf in London and decided to use it on The Howling, like bipedal werewolves and stuff like that. But if you look it up, I think Baker only gets like a what is it called whenever they
Stipend?
it's just a person. No, it's a
Credit?
yeah, it's a credit, but it's one of those where it's like I just give
I'm just going
I
to keep throwing
give-
out random words.
yeah. I don't know why I can't think of the word.
A pat on the
Um,
back? Producer?
It's a credit. It's not a producer credit. It's just somebody that came by to give advice. Like Yeah, he gave advice on one of his understudies, like the people he taught, took over the special effects for The Howling, but so he can go work on American Werewolf in London.
I don't know. I can't think of any more words to throw at you to pick on you, so I apologize.
No, it's not.
Guys, come on now. I'm watching a new episode of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Lived. I am sorry that you were doing that. I'm just kidding. I don't know who you are, so I can't be a meanie about it. I haven't watched that yet. I don't know. I saw they have the first episode of it up on Shudder.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched it just yet. I know I will though. So the great thing about this movie is that when you watch An American Werewolf in London, it's Kim. Hi, Kim. Doug said hello. Eric is there as well. Hello, everybody. I opened it up on my browser so I can see who you are talking. John Landis, coming from this comedy background, like he really kind of leapt out of comedy to do this movie. We have
Animal
the
House,
Fried movie, Animal House, Blues Brothers, An American Werewolf in London, Trading Places, Three Amigos, Coming to America. Like this movie really stands out as his foray into horror. And it's funny because even Piccadilly Circus, where they filmed part of it, the way they got the permission to film there is by him doing a private screening of the Blues Brothers for the police department in London.
Yeah, it talks about he learned so much from working with the doing the Blues Brothers movie with working with the police there, that he brought it over here to kind of butter up the cops here, and that's how they allowed him, because like you said, no one has filmed in that Piccadilly Circus in a long time, and they managed to let them cut just seconds at a time. Basically, they allowed them to shut the street down for a few seconds, film, and then open it back up.
And it's crazy because like the filming that they did there, that was a huge scene. Like that had to have taken so long for just the piece by piece of putting it together.
The word is consultant.
Oh, consultant. That's my my job title at work.
Credit.
I'm a solutions consultant.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. Makes
perfect
sense to go for. Johnny Horror, okay. What is up, buddy? I hope you are hanging in there after a long month so far.
Listen, Johnny, I've been awake all day.
So we talk about John Landis coming from that comedy background, and this movie, when it was released, they had this like, is it horror, is it comedy? Because it was before Chuck came along and told the world it's okay to be horror comedies.
Yeah.
And people were like, it's too funny. Watching this movie, the comedy to it was like so aligned with what he normally did with like Animal House and shit like that, with that shtick comedy, that I feel like it was lost in the movie. Like the dude knocking over all the pee pans, like stuff like that. It was just little things that were just like well executed, but it didn't take away from the movie, where you have some comedy in movies like Tucker and Dale, where the comedy is so over the top, it takes away from the horror aspects of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's now they've asked John Landis. He has said, hey, it's not a horror comedy. It's not. It is a horror movie that has, a little bit of comedy sprinkled in, but it's not a horror comedy. Like, you can have an action movie and have something funny happen in the action movie, and it's not an action comedy. And that's the way he pushes it. He's like, no, he's not. It's not that at all, because he was afraid that that's the way people would see it because of his background and it building up to that. And that's what they wanted him to do, because at that time there was no horror comedy stuff, and Animal House did so well. That's what they were pushing for. But
sorry, I'm trying to make a note here.
No, you're good.
Ticker.
We'll speak on how you talked about the cops in the Piccadilly Circus. They only got 4. It's like 4 or 5 work visas for the UK.
Mm-hmm.
They got Dave Naughton, and then Griffin Dunn. Did you say it was? And then,
I always say Dune. I don't know. It might be
yeah,
done.
it's Dune or Done. I'm not sure. Yeah, Rick Baker. You had John Landis. I think so. I think it was 4. Now they were only going to be able to get 3 because they said that they had people living in the UK that could play Griffin's part.
Mm,
So they were
that's
like,
fair.
we don't need him. Like we have American actors that live here in the UK, and this is where they're from, to do that. So John Landis basically said, "Hey, if you don't put Griffin in like I want, then I just won't film him in London."
It's
And then he
interesting.
came up. He said that he'll just call it An American Werewolf in Paris. So he actually went to Paris and started scouting sites. And then
Interesting.
they said, "Oh, okay, never mind."
It's interesting to me how similar Griffin Dune and David Naughton look. Like Emily called that out a couple times, and I was like, you know what? You're right. They're very similar looking.
I mean, when they're younger, yes. Now that they're older, I
Oh yeah,
can't see
no,
it.
they
Yeah,
aged apart for absolutely. But like, if they would have been telling a story of 2 brothers backpacking across London or
yeah. Instead
backpacking
of two
across
buddies.
Europe, it would have worked. The interesting thing to me, like little details that they kind of had in there, like when the dog starts barking at David when he's locked out
Mhm.
of her apartment, uh the 2 girls, one's wearing a red coat, the other's wearing a green coat, just like them going through the countryside when they were hiking. David was wearing the red coat, and what Jack was that his name was wearing the green coat.
Yeah, Jack
I don't think it meant
didn't.
anything. I don't think it mattered,
Yeah.
but I just thought that was interesting that that's how they laid
Well,
it
that
out.
that one part, because even Chelsea brought it up when was watching. The dog barked, the girls, and then that cat hissed.
Hmm.
She was like, "Oh, she mentioned it, but it turns out, like I was, doing my research, the way they got that cat to hiss, they grabbed another cat and jammed it in its face real quick, like flinched it at it, and that's how they got the cat to hiss back at it.
I, di- I
So
I'm cu- I don't understand how she left for work and was just like not even thinking that she locked him out of the whole building. Like
yeah.
idiots, bunch of
Oh, and
doofuses.
uh, just in the research, 50% of the movie, Dave Naughton is nude.
Yeah, there were a couple points where you're like, I see his peen. Like when he's
Yeah,
running after the
well,
deer, it's like flap.
yeah.
I think
Speaking of the peen,
the peen knocked the deer out before he could.
that's how he killed it. He
Yeah, he
hit him
was
with that
like,
hammer.
"Flah!"
They
And
couldn't shoot Dave Naughton with any full frontal nudity because he is not circumcised, and Dave Kessler, the character, is supposed to be Jewish.
oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes because
he,
there's that line that they say. I have it in
yeah,
my notes. The line about him being Jewish. That's actually really funny because the nurse
yeah.
says I
So,
snuck a look. All they would have had to have done is take that line out, and then they could have shown the dingaling.
well, it has to do with like the whole Nazi dream sequence.
Duh, that does make okay. Yeah, that ties it together
It's
pretty
supposed to
well.
be like all along those lines of the Nazi dream sequence, and being hunted and stuff like that, and what the Nazis did and all that.
That's actually so. Horror Mama, I agree. That's too much information, but that's interesting. That's actually really interesting how that all bakes into it and ties together for that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And another thing, Rick Baker is supposedly the one in the makeup that is cutting Naughton's throat. He's
Really?
the werewolf. Yeah.
And so we were talking about this before we went live. When NECA released, I think it was a NECA figure, right?
Yes.
When NECA released those figures, I remember coming across them and I was like, "What is this?" And I completely forgot about that sequence in the movie. Like completely forgot about it. So watching it last night, I was like, "Oh yeah, Nazis."
It is a very strange sequence because um it feels like it's just so out of place. Like the running through the forest naked, attacking the animal, and all that, and eating it. That's normal nightmares for when you're about to become a werewolf. But like,
I'm obviously, yeah.
werewolf Nazis. That's like, wait a second. And then there was that great segment in the first season of Creepshow with the werewolves and Nazis.
I
You
don't
remember that
remember.
episode? Yeah,
Man,
that's the
did
episode
that
that had Jeffrey Combs in it.
was that the isn't that the episode that Joe Hill wrote? The Werewolves of
Uh,
Nottingham Station or something like that?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's where the soldiers get trapped in the barn and the Nazis are on the outside.
It was interesting to me watching them hike up the street, like the road or whatever. It looked very West Virginia to me. Those narrow ass roads,
Yeah.
nobody can get around you, and they're just fucking hiking, no map, just like we got this. It's fine. We got that. Like you're gonna tell me that these two knuckleheads ventured off on this trip in the age before cell phones, before Google Maps, mapless, and we're just like, we're gonna make it to Rome. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I feel like people did that shit all the time though, like in the late, just before phones and maps like really was a common thing. If you just go pick one up at a gas station, I feel like
If they
people
were
did that
gonna
shit all the
stick
time.
to the road like they were supposed to, but just like cutting across the moles, like you're telling, like, what? Plus, nowadays, if somebody cuts across my backyard, I'm gonna fuck out of here. Get out of my yard.
Yeah.
Buttholes.
Yeah.
Especially with as much as he loved being naked. I got children.
He could have
man.
been he could have been streaking right there.
But so they get to the slaughtered lamb, and slaughtered lamb is like one of the probably more popular themes that have come from this movie. Like you see slaughtered lamb signs everywhere in horror collectibles and things like that. And just the attitudes of everybody in that bar that's just like fucking Yankees, fucking wankers.
Just the I don't know, it's that typical bar scene where the Americans come in, they say one thing and everybody stares at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never really did go into much detail about the pentagram on the wall, did they? Just it's been there for like 200 years.
Yeah, I think it's that area is plagued with I guess werewolves and that's just what they do.
Is it a plague if there's only one though?
Well, what's so bad is what's the issue? This werewolf plagues the town, and they're so worried about it they don't want to go outside, and they worry about the Americans they send away after the dude misses a dart, like it's their fucking fault. And how easy it is when they went outside and they just fucking shot the shit out of it and it's dead.
Right. You
Like,
could
it wasn't
have
a silver
solved
bullet.
this
It wasn't anything
years
like
ago.
that. It was just
they were probably like, "Oh man, that was easy." Shit.
It's like, I feel dumb now. How many kids have we fed to this thing?
Yeah, like that really took me by surprise too. Like there was only one apparently, and they killed him that night. But poor little Griffin Dune was just fucking, jacked up, and it was just such a simple resolution to the problem. And they could have just shot him right then and there too. Like boom, problem solved. They already had a story about a psycho doing it. They could have just
did they know that that's how it transfers?
I feel like they had to have.
And this is where, speaking of him dying, this is where, this is the American Werewolf series, which is 2 movies. This is the first time I've seen personally. There might be another movie out there that the victim of a werewolf comes back and is like, haunting them and stuff like that. It's weird. Like in this one, it's Dune just being like, "Hey, I got bored. I can't rest. What's going on?" type of thing. The other wolf killed me, and then here's these other victims, and then you watch him slowly decay, which is very interesting. Like when he's fully basically bones in the theater.
Dude, they did a great job with his makeup. Like start to finish, the way he deteriorates, they did a great job with all of that.
Yeah, Griffin actually helped puppet that skeleton and stuff like that, so it would still, act like him and like move like him and stuff like that while he's sitting there. So he assisted in the puppetry. Yeah.
Do you have the tuning terror handy?
Yes, I do.
I asked Chuck to have this ready. I feel like
there's going to be. Let me turn down the.
I love the Toonie Terror line, and I feel like
Glare still sucks, but
they did a great job with this one, like matching him up to the final scenes of the movie with the way he was decaying. Yeah, glare sucks.
Yeah.
But that set, I just feel like was a great, and yes, Johnny Horror, Rick Baker. I feel like that was just a great toy, I guess, collectible that came along with it. And it's funny because I have my stuff to send to Johnny Horror for Chiller, and one of them was my 11 by 17 from this. It's already signed by Dave Naughton, and I want to get Griffin Dune on it. And I was originally going to do "Have you ever talked to a corpse?" because I thought that was a cool line. But after watching the movie last night, the way they both say "Beware the moon" at the same time, and then realize, oh shit, we're screwed. I think I'm gonna do just "Beware the moon," just like David Naughton has on his side. And as weird as it sounds, just have both of them with the same quotes. So it'll be that there, same quote, basically, different color. It seems weird to do the same quote, but I like it. That's Horror Mama. I gotta get him added to this one. Like that's kind of my goal this year is like getting people more cast pieces. I've always kind of avoided cast pieces for no real reason, but I have so many around here that I just need to like get people added to.
Yeah, that's what you said. You said 2024 will be the year of cast pieces.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, go ahead.
No, go right ahead.
We're going to talk about some Rick Baker because
Rick Baker.
Johnny Horror
bake this
Rick Baker. Yeah. Like he revolutionized like, the work, and as hard as he worked on it, that transformation and stuff like that, and to know it was just like 9 seconds of like the facial stuff that he did, he was really upset about it. He was like, he just didn't feel accomplished that it did what it had to do. But
and
then
they
after he actually
about
watched the finish of it, he was like, he totally changed his mind. He's like, this is amazing. It's great.
And they talked about how they almost shortened that scene because they needed to cut some clips. So they almost shortened that scene, but Landis was like, "Nah, dude. Like, look at the other stuff he's done." So Harry and the Hendersons, The Wolfman with Anthony Hopkins in 2010, Planet of the Apes, Michael Jackson Thriller.
Yeah, he worked on Thriller with Landon. Basically, I have this in my notes. MJ was blown away by the special effects by watching that, and he said that I want both of them. I want Landon and I want Baker. That's who I want to do my makeup and everything for Thriller. So,
is he still alive?
Who?
He sure is.
Yeah, Landon and Baker, I'm pretty sure, are both still alive, right?
Yeah, because apparently Landon had talked about for years doing a remake of American Werewolf in London and had a script written for it and everything. But a bunch of controversy came out about him mistreating some of the female cast that he's worked with over the years. And he has gone into hiding, basically.
Yeah, that's one of those I don't think they should remake.
No, they shouldn't. And I also think, like, they say that he's retired, and I feel like that's pretty messed up. Like, he didn't really retire by choice. Like, he made a lot of terrible he did a lot of terrible things and hurt people. He shouldn't be allowed to work in those roles anymore.
It's a lot of the CG stuff, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that would be Rick Baker. Papa Goss in the chat says, Rick Baker said on Joe Rogan they didn't get to work on Wolfman. They hired him on and didn't get to fully do his style. It's mostly CGI. And that's thinking of how American Werewolf in London would look today with the CGI. I feel like it wouldn't be nearly as good. Like the really did a great job.
Yeah, is American Werewolf in Paris, where they wanted to show the full werewolf and the transformation, and that CGI is shit.
Okay, I know I've seen that, and I feel like I've seen it like in the past. Like I saw it sometime in 2023, but I really don't remember much about it.
Yeah, the CGI is something like back then when you watched it in the 90s, you're like, oh, this is not a bad movie, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then you watch it now, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is bad.
Well, Horror Mama, a lot of the times with those old school special effects, the way that they pull them off, like, just works better. Like, Tom Savini, the way that he does death scenes, he has talked about how he does them based on the fact he's seen death. He's seen people die in Vietnam. So he knows how to make someone die on film. Like CGI doesn't know that kind of stuff. Like the person programming that system doesn't know that kind of stuff. So the classic with just picking little things together and just MacGyvering it and making it work is so much more impressive to me than running it through a computer system.
Yeah, but honestly, it's all about time and money now. When they can, basically, they could take the time to build a, 20, 30 feet T-Rex for Jurassic Park, the first Jurassic Park, or they could have everybody react to a tennis ball on a string and a pole, and then add it in later.
Right. For
So
sure.
that, I mean, it's just time and money because movies have gotten so more expensive. Even the things we can consider low budget, if you go back and look at their what they spent, it'd be like $1 million, and they consider that low budget.
Yeah,
compared to not like low, like some of the 500,000 movies and stuff we get, but you got your big ones that are spending 50 to 100 million to get movies put out.
So I feel like you'll have this in your notes, but one of the things that I thought was really cool was the way they used music for the movie. Do you have this in your notes?
No, you are the music man, so I'll let you.
Hell yes. Let's talk about it. So according to Wikipedia here, the film's ironically upbeat soundtrack, because they have some really kind of jivey songs in there, but they used a lot of songs that were related to the moon. So they have Blue Moon. I think there's 3 versions of it that play throughout the movie, like one in the opening credits, one at the end, and then like a ballad version during the transformation. And then they have Van Morrison, Moon Dance, and Creedence Clearwater, Bad Moon Rising. So most of like the songs that get like front row center attention are moon related. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. But I got the fake porno.
The fake porno.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Just how that guy walks in. What are you? I told you never to do this or whatever like that. And he's like, oh, sorry, wrong place.
Yeah.
And then the phone call. But the name. Do you know the name of that porno?
I wrote it down, but I don't remember. I saw it in the credits too, which was hilarious.
It's See You Next Wednesday.
Yes. See You Next Wednesday.
Now, so John Landis owns that title, and he uses it in a bunch of stuff.
Really?
I don't know why it's weird. Yeah. When
I was trying to watch like the scene where the wolf's chasing the guy through the subway, I was looking at the posters trying to see if like Blues Brothers or something would pop up there.
Yeah, well, that orgy. Did you see the orgy poster?
Yeah.
What's funny about the porno is that how I said that Landis wrote this script before getting close to 1981. That this was originally not supposed to be a porno. In Piccadilly Circus at those theaters, they actually showed old cartoons.
Really?
And that was originally what it was supposed to be watched, was like some old cartoons. But by the time they went to film and got everything ready, 1980, because 1981 is when it came out, they had switched everything to adult film.
That's interesting. That it would have made for a really interesting scene if they would have stuck to cartoons. I feel like that would have been amazing. Because just everything about that scene is so well done. Like him facing his victims, and like the couple is very like upbeat and chipper about it, like shoot yourself in the head. And everyone else is just kind of grumpy about it, but it was just such a well done scene. And honestly, I don't have any complaints about this movie. Like
wait a sec, what?
I really don't. Like it's such a well done movie, and especially for the times. The doctor getting involved and going back to the slaughtered lamb to like try to look into things and find out what was going on, like part of that came across as corny to me, but at the same time it was still well executed. It was still well done.
What about just Chesley said the doofus cop was her favorite.
Yeah, that was what I was saying about like the comedy shtick. Like that doofus cop had the comedic element to it, like the comedy relief or whatever. but it was okay. Like it wasn't Tucker and Dale. It wasn't so like in your face, like, are you laughing? Are you laughing now? Laugh with me. Like it was just like dippy John Landis comedy.
Yeah. And Chesley pointed out that they played Blue Moon whenever he was butt naked. So
With as much as he was naked, though, it would have been
everyone.
um,
what I love about it is that it's just, I don't know. I think the impact of the transformation, without that, if they would have cut all that, like you said earlier, they thought about cutting it, and Landis said no. I don't think the movie would be as iconic as it was.
yeah.
Because that's what people remember the most, is that transformation. It remembered so much that Baker won an Oscar for his makeup effects.
Really?
Yeah. So in 1980, the Elephant Man came out, and it didn't get an Oscar, but people loved the way they did the makeup for the Elephant Man. So the Oscars decided to add a category for special effects and makeup and all that. And Baker was actually the first recipient of the special effects Oscar and makeup Oscar and stuff like that in 1981.
The one thing they kind of hit in the beginning that I don't know if it was, I'm trying to find it now, made up just for this movie. So maybe you'll know, or Real Dead, if you're still here, maybe you'll know. The Lycanthrope Films. It was like one of the production companies that they used in the beginning for it.
Yeah, Chesley mentioned that too. They're like, "Is this made up just for get it? It's a werewolf movie."
That's when I saw it last night. I thought the exact same thing, and I just Googled it. I forgot about it, so now I just Googled it, and I can't find anything for it. So I think it was.
Yeah, it might have been just a joke, like a little inside. We're making a werewolf movie.
They show the transformation in the makeup class at Universal. That's cool. That's really cool.
We while we were there, it was like two Augusts ago. We sat through the monster makeup class thing, and we actually sat through it twice. And that is such a groundbreaking thing they did whenever it first came out. They have one of the mechanisms there that changed the face, and everything's peeled back so you can see how it operates.
That's cool.
And then after the class, you can go up and actually look at it real close and kind of like look around it and stuff to see how everything works. It's a really cool class.
That sounds like it'd be interesting. I will not be threatened by a walking meatloaf. One thing that was interesting to me was during the movie, they talked about werewolf movies. They talked about Lon Chaney Jr. in the werewolf movie he was in. And I feel like in a lot of horror movies, especially, there's never that connection to a Hollywood movie. Like there's never like, this is a zombie movie. Well, I saw this movie about zombies once. Like, I feel like that doesn't really exist. So I thought that was interesting that they were like, we know what werewolves are because we've seen movies about them.
Yeah. There was in The Return of the Living Dead, right there before he introduces old dude to the tanks in the basement. He talks about Night of the Living Dead. He's like, that movie Night of the Living Dead? He's like, yeah. He's like, well, that's based on a true story. And that's when he goes down and talks about the tanks. But other than that, there's no real like, hey, this is what I've learned. Like in Walking Dead, how they never refer to a zombie as a zombie. They're walkers, they're shamblers, they're rotten whatever, but never a zombie.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point. And another thing that I have here, so right now there are 7 people watching us. So all of you, I want your honest opinion in the chat right away. Do you think it was weird that while he was alone in her apartment, he was so bored, but he didn't bother to snoop through her stuff? I do. I would have been snooping through all that shit.
Do you still snoop through Emily's stuff?
No, we're married. Like we live together. I don't know.
Hey,
but like, have you ever house sit for somebody?
I've never house sit for nobody. No.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, like when I was in school in Marietta. This is on the internet for the world to see. Whatever. When I was in school in Marietta, I had to house sit for a professor. He was like the advisor for my fraternity. and I was house sitting for him. I snooped through every fucking inch of that house. I found some
What if
shit,
you-
man.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, what if you would have found a body and you're like, okay, listen, I don't know what to do.
I found some stuff, but like I was just like, bro, you're not. Come on. You're not gonna just look around a little bit. Like you look in her fridge, you look in her books a little bit, but that's it. Like, I mean, she was a very open and honest lady. So he had all day, Chesley. He had all day. He didn't transform until that night.
Yeah, and I like how
Johnny Horror,
that-
you were absolutely right. You were absolutely right. You
Yeah.
might you not like what you find.
that quick. I just love it. Like we need to do a better job of editing. I need to learn better, and so we can cut in some movie clips when we do this. But just that sudden, he's kicked back. He's in that chair. He's reading his book, and it goes from like, you're like, what the fuck is happening? And then for the unfortunateness of him transforming in that porno theater when he's shaking that chair, and he's like, oh, and people are looking at him like, the fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, that I have that written down too. Like the way that he just like, oh boy, what just happened? The way that he just like freaked out like that. I was trying to respond to a comment on Facebook. Jonathan, you get me. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, the way that he just like you just said, just like, bleh. If he was that hot, wouldn't he have had time to slowly undress and make sure he didn't ruin his clothing? He is on limited supply of clothing.
Yeah, like he's got what's in his backpack, and whoever else she has happened to bring home, because that happened a little too quick for her to be like, I never do this,
right?
like,
and then
done
him
that.
like calling home, like, tell mom and dad I love them, bro. You've been like, it's been like a month and you haven't talked to your family. Like now out of the blue, you're gonna be like, yo guys, love you.
Yeah, that seems like an issue, like because he had been like what in like he's been in the hospital before he woke up for about a month, right? And it's just
He was
the
3
days that
weeks. He was in a
followed.
coma
So
3 weeks.
yeah, I mean, nobody flew out to see, not the mom,
Right.
not the dad, not no like, oh my god, you're awake, we're so happy, let's go ahead and contact your parents and stuff. No, we're gonna have this really horrible representative of the embassy come and talk to you.
Right. That dude did suck. He was a
Yeah.
moron. And I think the worst thing, now I got to find her name because I'm going to forget it. What really bummed me out was they did a great job of making Alex such a likable character. But
Yeah,
when
she's
it
very
came
sweet.
down to it, she was such a sweetheart. She was so kind, so nice. When it came down to it, Jenny Agutter is not a pleasant looking person when she cries. She has the worst crying face in Hollywood. There are some people that when they cry, you're just like, oh,
It's an ugly crier.
she's an
Some
ugly
people are
crier.
ugly criers. Yeah.
She's an ugly crier. She's like top 10. She's like number 2.
I can't remember. To me, it's not pulling up in my head of what she looked like whenever she was crying.
Good. You blocked it out. That's psychology.
I was
101.
traumatized. Yeah.
Just saying, man. She still looks like the same as she does now. Oh, she was in Child's Play too.
What'd she do in Child's Play 2?
Acted.
Well, okay. She worked the craft table.
Oh man. Crack myself up. Jennifer Ann Agutter.
Got fucking jokes over here.
Jenny, she was Joanne Simpson. Oh, she was the stepmom. Or not,
No.
the adoptive mom.
No.
Yeah. Kim, have a great night. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you.
Thanks. We have fun topics every night. We just do it privately in Messenger.
I was really like, we
do this
twice
all the
a month.
time.
So she was. Oh, that's interesting. John Cryer's sister. I don't know. Tell me more about that, Johnny.
Yeah, speak on that.
He might mean. Did she still do signings? Because I feel like getting her on this poster would be cool.
Yeah, and a Child's Play poster. Apparently.
John Cryer looks like Chucky from Sons of Anarchy. Siblings.
While he's looking stuff up, this is John Landis
Oh,
says this is one
Johnny.
of his favorite movies
What's
that
that?
he's ever done.
Who said that?
This John Landis. This is one of his
he
personal
lying?
favorite movies that he's done. Listen, that's what he said.
That's what he said. No, I believe it. I mean, think about the fact that you're always kind of pigeonholed into the same types of comedy over and over again, and you get this one that stands out, stands the test of time. It's got to be something you have extra pride over.
Yeah.
That calzone burnt to a crisp earlier is putting you to sleepy time, huh?
Oh, that was from God, when did we watch it? We watched it like Tuesday or Wednesday, and I've just been holding on to that picture so I can make the announcement. And who mentioned it earlier? I'm gonna roll back. They're probably not even here anymore.
It might have been Papa Goss.
I feel like a dummy now because I can't find it.
That mentioned something about the calzone. It was either Colin or Papa Goss. Colin or Josh.
Oh, it was actually chorizo bombito.
Yeah, that's Colin.
Let's
just take a look at this here real quick. I just want to take a look at the brutality. Like when the Nazi wolves break into the house and just set fire to everybody, it's like they took that same kind of rage and the same kind of fire and just sprayed it across. What was inside of that calzone, Chuck?
I just do extra cheese and pepperoni. That's it.
It's very fair. They just fried the shit out of it. The cheese pull though was probably amazing. Anybody hungry now?
The thing about, I don't know. We had tomorrow is Desiree's birthday, so Chesley put everything together to throw her a surprise birthday today, and we had Papa John's.
Today, okay, good.
Yeah. But the calzones to me, sometimes they're a little doughy in the center when you start getting away from the edges. So I always like to say, doughy. Hey, go ahead and put that in for just a few more minutes to kind of make sure it's well done. They decided to say, hey, fat boy, we're going to burn the fuck out of this. It was still good. All right. But it was well done.
I believe it. So I think that this is one of the better movies we've watched. I really, really, really enjoy this movie. I had a great time watching it. Emily enjoyed it as well. I would watch it again even. So, I'm very happy that we had the opportunity to discuss this one. It was a good time.
Rotten Tomatoes is, if we're going to do this, and they agree. Tomato meter is 89. And then our audience is 85. So it is high 80s. I'm sorry, I did it too early. But
do you have a kill count?
Yeah. It is 21.
Really? That's it?
Yeah, but that is us counting. I do believe it's actually it's less if you don't count the dream victims. There's 21 counting his dream family being killed. And yes, Papa, it is a classic, and that's why I was really shocked when Josh put it up on vote.
Okay, and again, I'm going to say it again. At the beginning of the year, I decided instead of only going through movies that I wanted to see, I would post in a bunch of different Facebook groups and ask for suggestions. And I have a full list of all the suggestions that were given to me, and those are the ones that I'm going to pull from. So Papa Goss, Real Dead, Johnny Horror, I'm not sure who else is still in the chats, but if you have any suggestions or some themes or things like that you want to throw our way, drop them in the chats right now. And it's not a Stephen King movie. That's fair. That's fair. I deserve that. Drop them in the chat. We're always down for suggestions. And it's funny because when Chuck said werewolf movie, I was like, Silver Bullet. But then I was like, no, don't do Silver Bullet. Night Swim might be a little too new for us. We try to go back a bit to classics. Johnny
Yeah,
Horror, we're
listen,
not doing
I've
Feast.
watched Feast too.
Of course you did.
We can always do Mars Attacks. But the big deal is next month's movie has to be a big one. It's got to be a great show. You know why?
No.
Next month is our 1-year anniversary.
Oh, that's special. What was the first one we ever did?
The very first movie, April
Arachnophobia.
2023, is the 1990 classic Arachnophobia.
Black. Ugh. God, I hate that movie. So we're gonna be we'll come up with some this stupid fucking poll thing. We can't post polls on our Facebooks now.
Yeah, if you're not part of the Facebook group,
That was gross. I'm
please
sorry.
go. Even if you're not a fan, we just called it something like that for fun. That's the only way we're going to be able to get any kind of votes is if you guys go to their vote, because we only got 19 this time. Usually Josh pulls in like at least 100 votes from just Facebook.
Yeah, man.
I do well on YouTube, but he does great on Facebook. This time we only had 19. I think American Werewolf would have won regardless because it is like an iconic movie and people just want to talk about it and want to hear about it. But yeah, and vote.
I'm bitter that they took that poll thing away. Like that's like,
yeah, it was ridiculous, and you can't really even share. I'll have to go look through the settings, but I don't think you can share a post in a group from a group. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't be like, let me put this post up and then go and share it to my personal page.
Yeah, it bums me out. Chuck, what do you have going on YouTube this week?
Nothing. I kind of blew my load this week. I had a video every day. So
every day.
Yeah, Monday. It was Monday through Saturday.
Okay.
I did pretty good, and then I made sure I put up some shorts from Trans World, and I put up the Trans World video that didn't do very well. But oh well, shit happens. I did have a video go pretty big on TikTok, so you can go to TikTok and check it out. I have 2.1 million views on that video.
Damn, not bad. I'm lucky if I break 200.
But yeah, I mean, I've really got nothing going on. We're getting prepped and ready for CausaCon next month. Tell
us about the guest at CausaCon. It is I honestly, I'm very impressed. Last time I saw this guy was at Steel City in Pittsburgh. That's a big convention, so I feel like this is an awesome guest.
Yeah, it took some time going back and forth with his agent to make sure his scheduling was right and getting the contract through, and then we got the finalization yesterday, and then we got his headshots today so we could post it. But we got Sean Patrick Flannery for.
I think that's really rad. Like, dude has a great resume. I'd love to track down a Boondock Saints Funko Pop, or honestly something from Powder, because Powder was a monumental movie. That was such a damn good movie. I will not be going to Horror Hound. I don't want to do a lot of conventions this year. Like, as much as I love conventions, I don't know. I'm in a weird mood about them right now. And Horror Hound that's a packed one. I will be going to Night of Living Dead or Living Dead weekend, I think it's called, in outside of Pittsburgh for one day only. I'm taking my VHD and getting that signed. So I got to get like 8 people on it in one day. I'm kind of stressing. I'm going to make it happen. But watching Johnny Horror's videos of all the names he gets in a single day makes me confident that I can make this happen.
He does work. He does real work.
He really does, man.
Like, and he's on here now talking to us. I mean, that can't be
right. He's just like trying to go to bed, but he's being nice. I don't have any videos scheduled for this week. Actually, I've been trying to stick to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but this week, I don't have anything so far. I'm expecting a couple things to come in though, so I'll have some videos soon. Tonight,
I should have a box from somebody named Josh. I don't know.
Yeah, you should. That should be there like Monday or Tuesday. Yeah. Every Sunday at 7 p.m. I drop what I call Vinyl Ventures, where I do a record unboxing. So that dropped tonight, Migo the Devil. And then our Arctic Guts, Chuck and I both dropped Arctic Guts unboxings this past week. So that was fun. I have a Grail box unboxing coming this week, whenever it gets here. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, the Arctic Guts was fun. Like
Arctic Guts was great. Hold on.
Yeah. Why he's getting that? Okay. Like I said, In my video, if you watched it, it's a great box for a non-autograph box, which they don't do very many of nowadays. Like I think Culture Fly was doing some for a while, but they stopped.
There's too much going on.
It's just hard to find a good box that is not autographed. That isn't like a craft box. Like my LB3D design is like a bust. It's a bust box, and then there's stuff built around it. But this is strictly stuff. It's
This
adorable.
was the main.
Did you steal that
piece-
one from a kid?
Huh?
Did you steal that from a kid?
No, dude. I found this at like a thrift store years ago. This is Harold.
Yes,
And I
real
put the mask on him. Johnny Horror, you're very welcome. Stay hydrated, buddy. Like, I was very happy to surprise you with something like that, man, for sure. But yeah, the Arctic Guts box was, I said in my video, bold, and I meant it as a compliment, and I explained that, but I'm just gonna say it again. Like, I think that mystery boxes are not easy. Depending on how long you've known of my channel, you know that I have some experience in mystery boxes, and it's not easy. So I applaud the folks behind the scenes at Arctic Guts for doing one that was not autograph driven, was just a real, how do I put this? It was a risk. That's really the way to put it. Like, he took a risk, and I think he did a great job with it. Those Scream Grades figures are fucking sick. Those are some of the best figures I've seen.
Yeah, I don't think I'll take Fatso out of this thing, but if I would have got a Michael, like if I know everybody got a Killer Clown, but if I get a Michael, that's one I'd probably take out. And
I came across the Michael today. I came across Shorty and Spike, I think it was. I don't remember whichever Killer Clown. At FYE today, and I was like, man, I want these, but I don't want to pay the $40 for them.
Yeah, they do the Killer Clowns, they do Michael, they do
Motel
Candyman.
Hell.
I think, yeah, and I think those are the ones they do so far. I can't wait until the Goosebumps figures from Trick or Treat Studios comes out. You know,
I
love
can.
Goosebumps.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, those will be cool. The Motel Hell figure was really rad. And the Candyman one looks so good. Like, they're great sculpts. They look awesome.
Oh yeah,
Papa Goss. I don't remember which one you got, buddy. I'll have to double check. I remember looking at it. I don't remember what it was off the top of my head. I'll definitely keep that in mind. But I think that's all I have for tonight, guys. And I think, like I said, it was a great movie. I was really happy to rewatch it. I need to check my scratch off poster and see if it's already scratched off. But we did good this month.
Yeah, we both enjoyed it. Nothing to complain about. Now we got to get ready for a big next month, and we're gonna have to do some scheduling with it because Kazakon falls at the end of the end of the month on that one, so it's gonna be a little rough.
Emily's birthday.
Try to get stuff ready for the charity auction that we do there. I know I've put in a lot the past couple of years. This year's a little light, and I know Josh has even put in on it before. So
yeah, I'll have to look through my
he's even
stuff
on the
and see.
poster. Listen, you've already donated. You don't need to donate again.
Oh, is that for this year?
You donated last year.
No,
you were on the poster
I can still look around and see what I got.
Don't worry about
Fine.
it. We don't give nothing. We don't give nothing to them. No, I appreciate anything, but and yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to do consignments maybe for Sean Patrick Flannery. I don't know. I need to get with Johnny Horror and see what's his opinion on it is and stuff, and how I should go about it and what I should charge. But he's the expert,
dude. He can give you some fucking advice. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, like I posted it in his group just to see if anybody was interested, and like you were the only one that kind of commented on it. So I don't know if anybody would be interested in it.
If this is for Johnny, if I said I called the baby the wrong name, it's Henry. I don't know why I said Harold. It's Henry. As soon as the word left my mouth, I was like, "That's not right." And Emily called me out.
Did she text you from upstairs?
Yeah.
She's like, "What are you, some kind of dummy?"
Right. It didn't feel right. What was I gonna say? So, if you decide to go to TerrorCon, let me know, because I'm thinking I might actually do something flats for signings. I've already sent Johnny the picture, but I want to get ahead of the curve if he does go to Terracon.
Oh, and Papa Goss, I mean, I appreciate it. If you want to message me on Facebook or get up with me some way on like maybe Instagram, we can talk. Whatever you want to do, man. I know YouTube isn't a good place to communicate privately back and forth. Yeah, Johnny's gonna. Are you meeting? God, what is his name? I saw he was announced. I was excited because I haven't seen him do a con in a while, except for the Trimmers.
Oh yeah, dude.
Convention. God, I think his convention has already went and gone. Michael Gross.
Yeah, he was at Monster Mania.
Yeah, that would have been very cool to meet him.
You gotta watch Johnny Horror's new video, the tour of Monster Mania. He has some clips from that guy in there. Can they Michael Gross? Yeah.
Yeah, that would he's somebody that's on my list because he's a cool guy. Every Trimmer movie, and even the TV show. Come on. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and I guess call it. Everything's done. We appreciate everybody from watching. I know a few of you commented, that you appreciate us going live. We appreciate you guys just watching and commenting and keeping the conversation rolling. We need to get those Josh and Chuck movie mayhem t-shirts made for Johnny so he can wear them when he goes to conventions.
Oh boy.
I think he's the only one asking for a t-shirt. Maybe for your birthday.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe if you're not already. We will be back at the beginning of April, figuring out what we're going to do to go live in April and having a great time doing so.
All right. You guys have a good night.